welcome back to Inside the 90. Good to see you again, Andrew.
Absolutely. Excited to be here.
Yeah, man. So we're going to do something today that's really probably focused more on the visionary and the entrepreneur, and just talk about some realities that entrepreneurship can be, and always at times super lonely.
Yeah.
You know, and I call it the Jesus take the wheel moment, you know, and you will give Jesus the wheel at some point in time.
Absolutely.
And
whether you're ready or not.
Whether you're ready or not, right? And so, you know, one of the things that we are benefactors of is a really strong community.
Yes.
And I would say some of it is accidental, some of it's intentional. But the constant right now in the community that, you know, that we are involved in is your journey of, you know, deciding several years back that you were going to relocate, pick your roots up, replant some roots, move your entire book of business, and then build a new community, or be a part of, find a new community.
Absolutely.
So I want to start there. I want to hear your journey of, you know, what was your entrepreneurial community where you were, what made you want to decide to move, and then how did you reconstruct and build community here?
Yeah, it's when you say it that way, it's like, holy cow, what the heck was I thinking?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. And I think I would suggest is what drove us was like we couldn't not do it. You know, like we couldn't not make the move. And so we were so excited. We felt like God called us here, that it was like whatever the work was, we're going to do it, right? Because we were excited about it.
Yeah.
There was joy, there was energy, there was all this kind of movement in it.
And it was post-COVID too, right?
It was post-COVID. Yeah. So it was 2022 is when we moved here, right? So is that right? Yeah, because it's coming up on 3 years since we've been in town. In the entrepreneurial communities, like if you think about it, there's that adage of it's not what you know, it's who you know, right?
And I add to that, it's not what you know, it's who you know and who they know.
And who do they know? Exactly. And there's a piece of that's part of a community. But the other part of a community is support.
Yeah.
So individual support, right? And so the community in Michigan, where I came from, it was very much a mixture of my journey, right? Leading sales and marketing for a SaaS organization, product-based, getting into private equity, then starting a technical services, custom software development company, data analytics. And all of my network was kind of mixed within those.
Yeah.
And it was strong, right? And so when you leave, and we made the decision to come to Greenville because we just felt like the calling. It's hard to explain, but we just felt the calling here. So when we moved here, it's like, okay, now we got to start from scratch. I knew like one person in town. And
who was the first person? Do you know?
Can you remember? First person. Well, one, my high school buddy was just outside of town. So that was the one person. But I don't even think I made the first connection through him. I'm trying to think of the very first person. I think the very first person was Chris Cloud.
Okay.
That I reached out to because I wanted to reach out to somebody that was doing something similar to what I was doing.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, Chris Cloud.
Oh, absolutely. Great first start.
What an amazing first connection.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the first time I walked into a coffee shop, he gave me a hug.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, oh, this is everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I found my person already, you know. But it all spurred from there. I think he was the one, and he put his arm around me and introduced me to people and brought me into everything that he was doing very graciously, even though he could have saw that as competition.
Correct, yeah.
Because we do very similar things.
Yeah.
But he didn't see it that way. He 100% wanted to support and help and help me kind of gain my footing. Yeah, for sure.
And then so y'all made the transition here, right?
Yep.
And you a goal of transitioning your clients and relationships.
So at the time, I had a dozen clients up in Michigan.
Yeah.
So I was flying back to Michigan quite often to support, and I still was running Barracks at the time of the transition and transitioning to EOS implementation full time. And that was part of the move and all these different things. There's a backstory there, but so that was part of the transition. And so there was this, like, I constantly felt this, I'm leaving a lot, and how am I going to build community here?
Yeah.
And there was a couple of things about when we moved here. We were Stacy and I were really, the size of the town was important to us because we wanted it to be big enough to have its own economy, have things going on, but not too big that we couldn't become part of the community.
Yeah.
And so, it was strategic in that for us. But yeah, so that's kind of.
So thinking about this is a two-part question.
Yeah.
So the first part being, as you were moving here and really getting going, define what you thought you would have wanted your community to have looked like. Like, what were you setting out to find?
Oh man, I think what I was setting out to find were individuals that I was looking for friendship and business connections. Is really what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have either.
Yeah.
And in my past life, that's how it was for me. Like, my friends are my clients.
Yes.
My friends are my referral partners. My friends are like, I enjoy the people I spend time with. So that it was one of those. And then the other thing that we were looking for was Stacy and I were looking for a small group of friends for us, just like kind of our core people that we kind of hit.
And then it's one of the things we talk about, the benefits of healthy community, right?
Yeah.
Is there is the, like, hey, I'm in business and I've got peers, but there's so many different roles, right? And I think as we were talking about this, I think community does those two things. One is accountability. So there's, like I've got, of all things, I have a marketing coach.
Yes.
Gil, met him early when it was just me. And, I'm a marketer, tried and true, but I was like, that's the place where I probably could have some serious blind spots and need some coaching. So I've been walking with Gil for 3 years now. He's a great thing. And so there's some accountability there. But then there's the empathy. There's the tribal part that, you find when you connect with other people who we're all, as entrepreneurs, visionaries, you all face similar challenges. We know about what keeps you up at night type of questions. But we all do them at different stages, at different times. Really, age doesn't matter. It's just the entrepreneurial journey and having people there who can empathize with you. And it's that accountability and that empathy that actually leads to growth.
Yes.
So, break down the different roles that you have in community and how you're able to put those pieces
and I
together.
think there's a couple of things to note here that's really important. So as a visionary entrepreneur, in the beginning, you're probably pretty good about getting out into the community because you're just kind of beginning, right? But once you have an organization, you have people, you have processes, you have products, you have services, whatever it is, your attention now goes internally. And so Monday through Friday, you're probably at your office or doing your work.
Yeah.
And I think it's a big mistake. It's a huge mistake because then you start internalizing everything. And that's when it becomes really lonely.
Yeah.
And so there's some really important kind of communities and relationships that you have to prioritize. And I talk to entrepreneurs all the time. It's like, I don't have time. Like, you don't have time not to do it.
Correct.
Like, you have to do this. Like, just stop doing that other thing and go do this.
Yeah, it's like you can't have a healthy marriage without taking time out and going on a date with your wife.
Yes.
You can't have a healthy business without taking time out to be in community
in these
with others.
communities. And just stop it. Like, no one's telling you have to do it. Just stop doing that and go over here and do that.
It's so funny. I'm going back to our quarterly. I was talking about some bandwidth issues. We're trying to idea stuff, and you're like, well, came around to you, and you're like, what if you just do it? There's a novel idea.
I know.
Just do it.
Just do it. I'm going back to the basis of the question, which is this accountability and the empathy, right? Like having those kind of few things. But I think there's one thing that I think that's important that kicks all of this off is leave. You have to leave your office. You have to leave your house. You have to leave wherever you go and you do your work. You have to leave that. And what I mean by leave is like every Monday you're not in the office.
Yeah.
Or every other Monday you're not in there. And it may start with just like going to a coffee shop.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's where you're going to work and you're going to do these different things. But that's not directly related to your question. I just think it's an important piece that you have to force that. But when I think about empathy and I think about accountability, empathy is the one that's actually a little bit more natural for me to find easier, because when I first came to Greenville, I went and just had a whole bunch of coffees. And I lived by this adage that there's a ton of opportunity in the world. And if you're smart, you can open a few doors of opportunity. If you're brilliant, you can open a few more doors of opportunity. But if you're vibrant, doors will open for you. And
awesome.
So I put that on my board, and that's quote got me to leave every day. And it got me to say, it's not about what I do, it's about how I do it and how I show up.
Yeah.
So I would purposefully, if somebody was within 3 feet of me, I would spark a conversation with them, which isn't my natural reaction to do that.
Yeah.
I'm standing in line at a coffee shop. It's easy just to stand in line. But I would actually say, hey, how's your day going?
Yeah.
You know, I'm Andrew, I just moved here.
Yeah.
Right? What do you got going on?
You play the new guy card.
Extremely awkward, but it's amazing what it opened up for
Yeah.
me. It really just opened things up. And I had a ton of coffees and I had a lot of these things. And I had a little scorecard that was likability. I talked about this a couple of times, but like likability, people responsiveness, these different things. And I would start to track people I would meet with, and I would just pay attention to likability.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to build something that I'm going to freaking love. And so I just want to spend time that I like. And I would just come back to those people and come back to those people and come back to those people. That was a high likability. And from that, I found empathy in certain relationships.
Yeah.
So you and I was one, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Our connection, there's a lot. I think we have accountability and different things too.
Yeah.
But I think it started as this empathy.
What started with
relationship.
someone who knew us both, who
Yes.
is also a high connector and relator.
Yes.
Zane. And you met Zane, and then Zane was in my wedding. You know, he's one of my best friends, and he introduced me to my wife actually.
Yes.
And then Zane was like, once you started talking to EOS, he's like, oh, you got to meet
know
Jamie,
Jamie.
because I had been talking to Zane about EOS for 3 years.
Absolutely.
You know, and I remember our first conversation was just we sat at Coastal Crust at the bar.
Yep.
And had beers till they were ready to kick us out.
I know. And I would put that in the empathy category a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, it's not it wasn't the accountability.
It was the
more,
understanding of each other.
It was the understanding of each other, and it was that. And I think that likability score and just kind of keep coming back to those. You have to start wide, and then it allowed me to go deep. Like I started to be able to go deep in certain relationships. And then what ends up happening is a few of you kind of get together, and that's kind of what's happened. And now there's like a little bit of a tribe.
Yeah.
And so now there's this empathy tribe where we get together and we do dinner together and we talk about things that are going on and what we're struggling with and those things. And like we have moments in work where we don't have the availability to show up as much as we should, but we really need to prioritize those.
Yeah.
And I'm even telling myself I need to prioritize them better than what I have at certain times.
And I think something you said earlier too is like if you go to your office every day, that's where your 9 to 5 is. You do need to get out. You got to get out and
100%.
connect. The other thing is, if you go to your office and there's no energy or excitement there, then the gains that we found was, we're in Flywheel, which is a co-work now, but it was my second one. So I went into another another co-work.
This is my second one too now. Yeah.
And like built relationships and had a great time. And then, really at that point in time, I was changing businesses. So I needed to reorient myself.
Yes.
Where you were helping me to kind of think through what to do to launch Wonder. And then we came into another co-work, and we were there in the first month. And then now as other people have come in, it's like there's a whole layer of all of us that go to work every day and are in community every day and are inspiring each other and doing stuff and checking in on each other. And it's more than the 8 people on our team in the office. We've got 100 people in the building, and probably outside of my work team, probably 8 of us that are really enthusiastic and excited about everybody's doing.
I love it. And I think, empathy is one thing I think a visionary leader needs. Like, you have to have that group of people that get you, right? I just walked through how I found that here.
Yeah.
But I think you need to have that group of people and prioritize those relationships. You have to prioritize those relationships, right? I have one here, but I also have Jeff and Roy that do the same thing, just different places of the country.
Yeah.
We have an empathetic group, right?
Yeah.
Then we talked about accountability. I actually think what you're talking about the co-working is actually a third group called almost like growth would be the category.
Yeah.
Where it's people that give you energy to push more.
Yeah.
And for me, if I'm in an office that I don't see people, I don't pull energy from people, I'm not going to grow as well. So like the co-working space gives me energy to grow and push more and do more and be excited and bring those things together. Make me change perspectives. You run into people, you have conversations, you hear what they're working on. Like, oh, maybe I could do that or this or that. Like, right? It just gives you this community for growth.
Yeah. And I want to put in the context of community too versus like social engagement and networking, right? There's a lot of that goes on in our co-work space too. There's events but there's motives there, which is like, I need to sell something. I'm trying to, it's like you're trying to connect for the purpose of business alone.
Yes.
And I think this is a little bit different. This community is where, we're sharing the load with each other. There's vulnerability. And in each of your different groups, like, you're my EOS implementer, right? You're one of my highest direct accountability partners in this business. Warren, my integrator, direct accountability there. My leadership team is a community.
Yes.
Then I do a men's group once a week on Wednesday nights with 4 of us. We've got that there. And then I've got Gil. Then we have our second Thursday, Taco Thursday, where we all get together. And I think we're hitting right now. We're all excited because it's working. Yes. And there's so many people that we know are struggling because they don't have those, and none of this 100%. Was intentional.
No,
it was just that.
This is what we've kind of fallen into.
Yeah, it's like I know that it's good. I just got to find my way into the right spots. And but I think it's it does that it's not accidental and it wasn't purposely intentional. It's like once I was curious enough to be like, hey, I want to make sure that I am connecting with these types of people. What ends up happening is you do a lot. And then you start paring it down, right? Now you're like, all right, well, the quality isn't the goal. Let me really focus on the quantity isn't the goal. Let me really focus on the quality of these relationships.
Right. And I'll be the first one that I despise networking.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it. I don't like going to networking events. I don't like networking for the purpose of networking. I don't present myself as a connector and these different things. Like, I don't know. I just don't like networking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like people.
Yes, exactly.
And I want to be around people that I enjoy spending time with, and they hopefully enjoy spending time with me.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways to find those people is through networking.
Correct.
Right? So like I think networking is a tool to those things.
Correct.
But every time I'm networking, I'm going to something. I'm not there to say who can connect me to something else. I'm there to find friends and people I can connect with and people I can help and just relationships.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I think I would say if you're a biz dev person, don't listen to this topic.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's not who we're talking to right
Yeah.
now. What we're talking to is the visionary entrepreneur who's running a company, delivering certain things, responsible for sales, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Carries a lot of responsibility, right?
And that community that, real world example, we do the Thursday night thing.
Yeah.
And, it's somewhere between 3 and 8 of us, They close at 9. It was pouring down rain. A conversation started with Will here at 9/8 Central, he and and I was explaining some of the struggles that we were having with some stuff. We stood in the rain under the little canopy at the door till 11:30.
Like the tiny little canopy.
Like they came out and they're like, "Are y'all?" Yeah, like we're going to leave eventually. But like we just dug deep into that because he had such a frequent or a recent experience, and he was able to walk me through and unpack some stuff that like really. And in that 2-hour conversation standing in the rain, which I think both of our wives were texting, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like it unpacked months worth of challenges that we were having, and he was just able to really help me see that and bring light into it. And one is you've got to be vulnerable, right?
Yes.
You have to be able to open up and share that I don't got this. There's some things that I may think I'm really good at, but I have a ton of blind spots too. And that you can just get people who just to lean in and press in and challenge you, and then ultimately help you, grow through those moments.
Absolutely. It makes me almost think about like, it makes me think about a conversation I was having last night. I went to a dinner with a good friend in town, entrepreneur. He has his own business, and he's in a group that I'm part of called Grow Forum. And that Grow Forum was yesterday morning. He didn't come, right? Because he was busy, he had something going on. So we were grabbing dinner, us and the wives, and we're talking. I'm like, where were you at this morning? He was like, man, I had my clothes on, obviously. I had my bag like over my shoulder, and I was walking out the door to come. And I said, I really need to get this proposal out.
Yeah.
Like, this needs to get done. And I stayed back, and I did the proposal. And I'm glad I did, because it led to this, that. And I challenged his thought.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, but what if you being there led to 2 more proposals, and you could have done something, if you're going to be part of a community, you got to be part of the community.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, you have to, and it's not easy to do.
Yeah.
So, and if you feel that, so either one, like, it goes back to just do it. Like, you got to just do it.
You just got to commit.
You got to commit to it.
Yeah.
If it's the right community. If you're feeling resistant because it's not the right community, that's different.
Correct.
But you got to commit to it.
Yeah, it would be like, there again, healthy marriage,
Yes.
telling your wife, like, hey, we're going to go on date night. We're going to meet, once a month, and here we're going to go, and then deciding I got to get a proposal out.
Yeah, which no one's ever done that. I've never done that.
I did it a lot in my 20s, a little bit in my 30s, started to absolutely not do that in my 40s, and now I will never do that in my 50s.
I know. You're a little bit more matured in that, and I think I say the joke right now because Stacy and I are going on that fun Switzerland trip this year in September. Over our 17th wedding anniversary, which I always told her we were going to do that trip on our 15th. But I had a important session I had to do in Minneapolis.
Okay, I'm going to one-up you on this one. Beth's password to everything I'm not going to say what it was, but it had the word 2020 in it. Because in 2020 we were going to go back to Italy because that's where we went on our honeymoon, and we kept. I was like, I'm not planning yet. She was like, we are going, and then COVID hit, and I had done no plans whatsoever. So COVID got me off the hook, and then we went back in 2023 when she qualified for the World Championships at Xterra. So we got to go to Italy, but
I know. I'm learning that too a little bit. But I think it would be fun, almost just to go through like. What groups and communities that I'm part of, and then what groups that you have. Because some of them are the same, but some are very different.
Yeah.
Too. So if I think of the categories, if I think of, I'm going to try to place these in the right place. If I think of like the empathetic groups and people that are more, we go deep about what we're struggling with, things that I'm thinking about. Those types of things. And I think it's important to note that these have to be outside of your business and outside of your family, right? Like they have to be something external. Yes. So I have what we call a T group that has 3 other EOS implementers. We've been in the same group together for 4 years. Jeff and I started it. We've added a couple of people throughout the year, but we go really, really deep in certain things. I have what we call the tribe. So the tribe is a few business advisors in Greenville, where we get together. We go deep more on the consulting, advising, business coach world of like what we're dealing with from there. And then the third empathetic group I would put would be you, Will, Landrum, Ethan.
The Taco Thursday crowd.
The Taco Thursday crowd.
Yeah.
Which just kind of entrepreneurs. It's a gritty entrepreneur group.
Yeah.
In all different realms, we all do different things.
Yeah.
But
and Jeff Yelton's come.
Jeff Yelton's
Yeah,
in that
Chris
group.
Hill, my old business partner's come before.
Yeah, Chris Hill's in
but I
that
think the
group.
core group is that.
Yeah.
Where it's not exclusive from, like, we invite new people, but it's become a core group of about 6 or 7.
But that's a really good. That's that other one. If I think about like the growth group, really I have 2. One is the co-working space that we work in. So Flywheel, I would put that as a growth community. I think I get more out of that community than I give at times, which I need to give more to. But like that is a really good group. And then I'm also part of Grow Forum, which is a Christian-based peer group that we I put that more in the grow category because we challenge each other back and forth. A lot of different industries. We meet once a month. It's really good.
Yeah.
And then if I look at accountability group, really I have 2. So one is strategic coach right now is kind of that program is more of an accountability group for me. And then I have a one-on-one relationship with Jeff where we hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
So
no, that's
it's interesting when I say them. It
sounds like a lot.
It sounds like a lot.
It does it observationally. It doesn't look like a lot. Right?
Yeah.
So.
It sounds like a lot, but man, do every one of those serve me, and I feel like I can serve it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, I've got a handful of, I would say, organic accountability. Deep relationships that go way back that will just check in. How's it going? Which I there's probably 4 guys like that. Gil, when I decided to start working with Gil, we meet once a month, and it's really good for me to have someone outside of the business who's not on leadership team. He's not in the mechanics,
right?
And it's just he and I, right? So we have that opportunity. I do want to say my leadership team is one because we're doing that every week. You as our implementer, so I would say the EOS community inside the business, running on EOS brings you some of that.
Yes, absolutely.
I do a men's group we call Fortress. So it's 4 of us on Wednesday nights. It's an 8:45 to 9:45 Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And we really just hop on. We do what we call the high-low hello, which is look back in the past week and, what was the high from the past week? What was the low? It's a little bit of accountability and vulnerability and just, we're all in different seasons.
Yeah.
We've, on more of the, I would say the growth kind of larger community, I host Pixel Pushers, which has become, in Greenville with the creative community. There's always tech stuff going on, but there really wasn't a creative community. And Benton Woodring is it's his community. I've just, I offered to host it, and it's become a thing that I still say it's his. I'm a sponsor and promoter of it, and it's been good. We have 45 people.
Yeah.
I think here last 2 weeks ago, and that's become a community builder. I would say that 4th bucket is like the building of other communities, right? So that's bringing people together who don't have community. That I love being in community, and they're getting ready to participate in that, and then they're getting connected and starting their own things.
Yeah.
And then definitely at Flywheel in our co-work space. Yeah. The things that are on my radar is I've been a part of it's now called Agency Management Institute, but 25 years ago it was Agency Management Roundtable, and that was agency peer groups, with other owners. I did get to participate in some strategic coach stuff, so I do want to do that one day.
Yeah.
I don't know if next year will be the year.
Next round.
But I think that'd be awesome. And then like Will here is in a C12 group.
Yes.
And I know that's so I'm interested now in kind of getting in a little bit more of a formal group, and I'm exploring
more like a
those.
Programmed group.
Yeah. And then I did years ago, we had a YEO group. So the Young Entrepreneurs Group in Greenville, that was 20 years ago. 25 years ago, maybe. But yeah, now I'm ready to get now that the business is mature enough. We're beyond survival and startup mode. We're in scale mode. Just get in. I have more time now to try to find a group like that.
It's interesting because even as you talk, it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Right. I think. And you go talk to another entrepreneur, and they may not have any.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Any of these.
Yeah.
And man, my heart just hurts for that
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Like I just feel for that person.
Absolutely.
Because you're doing it all yourself.
Yeah.
You can't talk to your spouse necessarily as vulnerability about the business
Yeah.
stuff. You know, obviously that your person. I mean, I can't do this without Stacy.
Correct.
You know, that's probably the first person I need
Well,
to
and I
talk
left Beth
about.
off. Yes, definitely.
I mean,
My
obviously
wife.
that's our
Yes.
first person.
Yeah.
But I think the purpose is outside of that, right? Like it's like, and then if you put it all on that person, then that's too much strain,
Yeah.
and it puts strain on the relationship when it's your spouse. And so, I think the thing I'm taking away from this conversation is it sounds like a lot, but man, I need all of that.
Correct. Exactly.
And I want to give to all that.
Correct.
And so we got to get into these things.
And
And
I
put
think you
energy
just said
towards
the
them.
key word there, though, which is when you get into those groups, it is about giving.
Absolutely.
Right. It's none of these groups that we're in are people only showing up to get. Like, I may be giving to someone who's then giving back to me, but it is just being a part of those groups. And sometimes it may be, you got heat where you need help, and
Yep.
sometimes you're just helping someone
Yep.
else.
And every time I help someone else, I help myself.
Correct. That's true.
Like I'll say the thing that I also need to hear.
Yes. Yes.
How oftentimes we do that, right?
And I want to add this one thing too, because as Beth, as I was thinking about her, like I am a high extrovert. It's very natural for me to just collect relationships. And Beth she's more introverted. But I read something the other day that was talking about introverts aren't antisocial, and I read this to her, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're speaking to me now." But it's like her social investment has got to be worth a return. So for her, she has a few really deep relationships, but she's on a team, right? She's an athlete. She's in the triathlon community. She's in the mountain bike community. Like she has community in these other ways, even though she's not going out like we are and just meeting people standing in line to have coffee.
Yes.
So if it's not your bent to just could have a conversation with a stranger, I'll talk to a wall. But know that the community, these closed groups are actually a very safe, good place.
Absolutely.
So it's not a room full of, elephants in the room that are all extroverts, type A personalities. That's the value of community, is you get a mix of everything and everybody's welcome.
Yeah. I wouldn't even classify myself as an extrovert. I think that I bounce back and forth.
An ambivert is the term.
Ambivert, yeah. I'm definitely that way. If I'm in the mood, I can be extroverted.
Correct, yeah.
I think I default to introverted.
Yeah.
But if I'm in the mood, I can be extroverted.
Yeah.
I just find it gives me energy at the end of the day being part of these groups and doing some of those things. And I would say if you find yourself feeling like people are looking to get in groups, you're just in the wrong group.
Yeah.
You found the wrong community.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And if you're listening to this and you don't know where to start, find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And find Andrew. Like we are happy to help connect and plug in and help you navigate.
Absolutely. All right. What a fun topic.
Yeah, man.